right, so now let's imagine we have some database that we have a collection of members. So we're going to continue learning about navigation. Now we're going to learn about the parameters, so how we can access parameters and create parameters inside of the Next.js application. So what we're gonna do is let's set up a folder inside of src. Let's right click and create a new folder, db. So we can create a new file. Let's call it index.ts for TypeScript. And I'm going to copy a list of members as an array. And I'm going to link the file with the data, so you can also copy and paste it. So here we're going to create a new array. Let's just call this one members. So the link to this should be in the description, and we're going to just paste this in here. And then this is going to be a list or an array of members. So members. And then let's just export this array so we can import it in another file. Each member is going to have a created ad, a name, avatar, and an ID. Let's save that and close that up. Now what I want to do, let's navigate back to home, make sure this is working. We see the hello Next.js, so we can close out the layout. And then we'll come back to the navigation, to the header, so we can style this a little bit better in another video. And let's go back to the main page, to the home page, and we'll close the other ones for now. So here, what I want to do here, we can delete this image import here. We're going to use that later. So here, let's import the members array from the db folder. And then what I want to do here, I want to map over this array. So let's just have an h1 here that says members page for now. And then down here, I want to map over the array of members and then display a member, each member inside of another component. So for that, let's go and create a div here. Inside of the div, we're going to map over members. So we're going to do members that map. And for each member, we're going to display or render a new component that we're going to need. So that component, we can create it inside of the components folder. Let's right click, new file, member-item.tsx. This one is tsx because we're going to return some JSX from inside of the TypeScript file. So here we can do export default function member item. And then each member item here is going to render the information about each member. So for now, let's just return a div, and inside of another div here, we can just say member for now to make sure this is working. Format this a little bit, and now we can bring it inside of the main page. So let's import member item, and the import's at the top. Cool. So now let's just render the member for now. Member item, and then here, right now we're getting an error. Right now we're rendering the component, so we just display member for each one of the items inside of this array. and we're getting a error here or a warning about that we're missing the key prop, but you just wanted to test this out, make sure we can see the component. So now that we're mapping over the members, we want to grab each member and pass it over in via props to the member item. So we're gonna do member equals member, and then let's do a key prop of member dot ID, so we can get rid of this error here. And let's see member here again. I'm still getting an error. Why do I have so many E's in here? Each member is being passed over inside here. What is this here? So we have a member property member does not exist as type. Okay, so that's fine. This is going to be TypeScript giving us the warning here. So what we're gonna do is that we're going to let's do, no, we can keep it like this for now because I don't want to jump into this at the moment. Let's keep this like this. We're passing the member here as a prop, so we're going to receive that in here, right? So we're going to receive the props inside of this component, and then props is going to go and say, we're going to receive each member here. So we're going to create an interface called member item props, and then here what we're gonna do, let's do a member definition, and we're gonna say that each member is going to have a name, which is gonna be of type string, and I'm just going by the information inside of this here, right? So all these different properties are just strings. So the name is a string, the ID is a string. So we can write the definition for that type here inside of the interface. So the name is gonna be a string. We can also put the ID here. It's gonna be a string. Then we're gonna have the avatar type string. We're gonna have the created at also type string. And then I think that said 1, 2, 3, 4. And then how many we have here? 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's good. So now that we have this member items props, which is right now just the member that is going to be passed down, we can pass it as a type here. So member items props. I can save that. And then if I go back here, that goes away because now we have the definition inside of the member item for the props. So now we have access to the props, and we have access to the member that is being passed down here. So for now, we can just go in here, and actually we can just say const and member. Let's just destructure this here. So member, now let's just do the structuring. So let's pull out member from the props. And then here now we can say member the name and save. And now we get all the different names here. We can also do let's just do it at the top. So image here, we can do an image for now, and later we're going to change this to an image component that is a built-in component inside of Next.js. So we can do src equals member that avatar. What is this? Member that avatar. And I keep putting this extra E in here. All right, so now we're displaying the avatar and the name at the bottom. Here we need a old tag to be set to just member photo. Cool. And this other warning is just telling us to use the image component that will optimize images automatically for you, but we're gonna keep this one for now. We'll change it later. Let's just focus on trying to do the parameters for the pages. So now that we have some new member items being rendered, right? Now I want to make each one of these member items a link, so we can click on these and then it can navigate us to a page for each one of these items here. So the way you do that is that in your app component, right, we have members. So let's say I want to go to members/members and then /1, right? This is where I want to go. Right now I'm going to get a not found page because we don't have that route created. But if we can navigate to members here, right? Right now we are able to navigate to members. And actually I could have the members actually being mapped inside of the members page. I think we can just make that quick change. So let's just grab this from here. I'm gonna cut that and I'm going to bring it to the members page, which makes more sense. That's what I wanted to do from the beginning. And then let's bring in these two into here. And now we can see all the members inside of this page instead of the home page. So if we go to the home page, and did I save that? Let me make sure I save it. So the home page, let me change this to home page. It says home page here now. If I go to members, I can see the members here in the members page. So what I want to do now is I want to be able to click on each one of these members, and I want to navigate to / and then use the ID of each one of these members to display the rest of the information about the member. So inside of members, what we can do, we can right click and create a new folder, square brackets, and then this is going to create a parameter inside of your routing. So we can do ID because that is a good name for the parameter that we need. Remember the data that we have, we're going to match it by the ID. So we can call it ID or you can call it member ID. It's up to you. This name is up to you, but this is where you declare your parameter. And then inside of the ID now, we can right click and create a new page.tsx. And in here, we're going to export default. Let's call this one member page. And this needs to be a function in here. And we can return, let's just have a div. And let's have another div for now that says member page, or we can call it, should we call it just member page? Yeah, member page is fine. So the other one is the members page, which is this one, members. But now we have a singular one, which is only going to display a singular member. So back in the member page here, what I want to do is that I want to receive the props here. And right now we can make it of type any, so we can annotate it, so :any, just so we can continue working with this for a second. I just reformat that in real quick so we can see it better. And in here in the props, if we just put a console log here, so console log props right now, and then if we go and right click and inspect the page here and go to the console, if we now, well, before we can do that, we need to, let's close the home page. Let's go to the member item And instead of a div here, I want to, let's import the link element again here. And then we're going to make this div a link instead. And then the href for this will be backticks / I want to go to / members / and I want to use the member. So let's do member.id here, so we can navigate to that path. So now each one of these, let me get out of the responsive. Let's just have it. Forgot how to get out of here. Oh, here. Nope, here. I can take this off. All right, so now if I go to members again, these are clickable. So if I click here, it would take me to / members / 1, and we can see the member page. We don't see the console log here yet. Let's see why not. So if I go back to the page here, I should be receiving props, and then props is going to, I'm getting a warning right now, but that's okay. Let's do props that params. Why this is not showing? Let's just go back here, click on another one, and it's not showing me here. Let me see if I missed something here. So let's see. I think what's happening is that I have this terminal closed. So actually, every time we put a console log here, this console log is going to come up in our backend, in our terminal from the local server that we're running, because by default in Next.js, all of these components now are going to be server components. So these server components are going to run in the backend, and then the generated HTML was going to be sent to the browser. So the console log, I forgot to open up my VS Code terminal so we can see it here. So now if we go back to the members page and you click on one of these here, you will see the console log with the ID 5, which is the ID we have up here. Cool. So we're getting that parameter. So that parameter is coming from here. So if you rename this to something else, so if you rename it to, let's say, member ID, that is what's going to be printed here inside of your params. So even if you take this out, the .params, you will be able to see that now it says params, and then an object with the ID and the matching ID of the member. So we're going to use that one to find it. Let's import our data again. So let's do members to import this array. This is our database at the moment. And then we're going to, let's see, for the props, instead of leaving this as type any, which is bad practice, considered bad practice right now, we're going to define, let's do a new interface. So we can declare a new type here. So let's do member page props. And then we're going to receive the params object, and then the params object is going to have an ID of type string. Right, so basically what we saw here is what we're declaring here as the type, and then here we just pass the member page props interface that we created in here instead of any. So now that we have the data and we have this props that we're going to receive, and we're going to be able to see the params ID, we're going to say const member. So singular member is going to be equals to members.find. We're going to grab each member and we're going to check the member.id and make sure it's equals to props.params.id. And then we're going to use this member to display the member down here. So we can actually, let's just delete this and have the member.name here. And we get a warning or a error here that says member is possibly undefined. This is TypeScript telling us, hey, there's a possibility that we're not able to find the member by the ID that you're looking for. So just to safeguard about that, for that, we're just gonna do a if there is no member, we're going to just return a div that says, or we can do like an h1 and say member not found, and now that will go away. And we can also display the same thing here. We can do the image and the src is going to be the member.avatar. O tag is going to be member photo for now. That should be okay. And then we're gonna get that warning again about that we should be using the image component. We're gonna do that in the next video. Just want to have everything render first, and then we'll go into that topic later. So now we're able to see here, we could display it also. Let's have another div that says let's just do member since, let's do here member dot created at, so we can just display a little bit more data than what we're doing in the other page. We can make that into a new date, so we can format it a little bit better instead of just showing this long string here. But I'm gonna leave it like that for now, that's fine. So if we go back to the members page, we see all the members. We close this up. And now if we click on another member, we see the, it navigates to that new path, /3. We use that param to find the matching member ID, and then we display the information about the member here. So basically all you need to do inside of the folder path that you want to create the parameter, you just have to create a new folder in square brackets and have the text or the name of the parameter that you want to create. In this case was ID, and put a new page.tsx there so you can receive your parameters and be able to use it to find what you're looking for. So in the next video, we're going to fix some of the styling and do some modifications here so we can use some of the best practices inside of Next.js with the image here, so we can handle that in the next video.